Wizards, welcome back to Miku's Crackhouse. This is episode 103. I'm your host, as always, Sam Kingma, and joining me is my best friend, Myles Jaundice. Myles, what's going on this week, dude?
And not much. Things in Breaking Bad Mexico are very good. Can I talk about this shirt that I'm wearing?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about it. I'm like, damn, is that designer? Is that Gucci?
This shirt is so fucking funny. So, because, this is not a funny. Okay, all right. So for those who are listening to the audio program, I have a shirt that just says the word photographer. It's in like stupid generic bold font, like the kind of thing you'd see at like Office Max. Just
it's
really
like bold Arial.
Yeah, just bland Arial font text, but it has a period at the end of the word photographer.
Like
So
you mean something, you know,
Yeah.
like you matter.
Yeah, photographer, period. And the funny thing about it is that this shirt showed up in my life. I don't remember where it came from, who got it for me, if it was a gift or if it was a thrift. I don't know if it was a grift, frankly. But it was in my drawer one day, and I don't really think a lot about what I style myself with, really. No one's gonna see me except for when I do this podcast, so put on a pair of pants and a shirt and I go outside. But whenever I'm like out shopping or whatever wearing the shirt, I don't know, every 1 in 30 people I meet is like, so you're a photographer, huh? and I have to be like, no, it's just the shirt. I don't do photography. I'm not a photographer. It's just this shirt. And it's like, I should just not wear the shirt, but it's really comfortable. But It's a lie. The shirt is a lie. I'm not a photographer.
I just love how bold it is. It's like, yeah, I'm a photographer, features no photo.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, no, let me show the whole thing. There you go, see? Photographer. Yeah. It's like, there's nothing on here. There's simply nothing. I am nothing. I mean, I'm a lie, Sam. I'm lying to you, just like Resident Evil 4 Remake is a lie.
Dude, I've been waiting all fucking week, man, to talk to you about this game. You beat it, right?
No, I have not. Did you? Did you play it?
No.
Okay, fair.
I got to hear your opinion. I had to hear your opinion, dude.
Okay, Sam, this is one of the most complicated experiences of my entire life. Oh. And the best conclusion I can come to is that Resident Evil 4 Remake is probably one of the best remakes ever made, but it's worse than the original game. And that's not because they did anything wrong with like the remake or anything like that. It's because modern gaming is just worse in a lot of weird ways than like gaming in 2005 was. Now it's not like games in 2005 were just better, right? It's just that games in 2005 were allowed to make design decisions that were like localized to, okay, well, here's what works for the game we're making. This isn't how everyone else in the industry does it, but this is going to work for our game, so we're going to do it. Now it's like you can't get away with that. It's like, all right, controls have to be the same as every other game. Oh, you want to make a horror shooter? Well, it's got to control like The Last of Us. Characters got to be fucking slippy slidey all over the ice like they're on hockey tables. The best word I can use to describe the controls, Sam, in this game is runny. That's the best word I can use to describe the controls in this game. Like when you bake eggs, but not enough. Got some runny eggs, right? And it's like, they're kind of solid, but like there's a little something slooping and slishing and slopping around on the eggs. Something ain't right with my eggs, Samuel. It's like, that's this game. So like, tank controls, right? Tank controls, rather controversial, but they can be done right. Or at the very least, they can be done where you design the game around them. You know, Mega Man Legends, like, all right, all of our enemies are going to have projectiles that, like, move erratically or unpredictable, but they're very slow, easy to dodge. Resident Evil. It's like, okay, well, the fixed camera means you're kind of always using the controls in the same context. Like, whereas like Devil May Cry, it's like, that one's a little not great in the tank controls department. Like that one, I guess it doesn't really have tank controls per se.
It just has controls where it's like it's based off the camera perspective, so you can get like you can get Dante like constantly like stuck for a second unless you like just
if you're not
know how it works.
Constantly holding the stick like in the same direction that you were moving. I don't know, it's odd. Fatal Frame, probably some of the worst tank controls, like idea wise, just how like wacky the tank controls in that game are, because the tank controls don't make a lot of sense because all of combat is done in first person with the camera. So the combat is done with a twin stick control. So like the tank controls are kind of redundant. They're kind of a redundant
just there
aspect
because
of the game.
Horror games at the time had tank controls.
Yeah, and the only reason that Resident Evil had tank controls was because, first of all, that was their solution to, lack of a camera control and lack of an analog stick. And second of all, because it was a good idea in that game. Because they made it work. Because that was a good idea. We're going to have fixed camera angles. We're going to have disorienting controls. But our controls are going to be tight. And our controls are going to be consistent. That's tank controls. Tank controls can be good. It depends. You have to make the game out of it. And you have to design everything around the tank controls. And that's a challenge, but it can be done. And I'm just going to say it's a challenge. But like any control scheme is a challenge. Compensating for any character player control is a challenge. So it's not like tank controls are inherently more difficult to design for, per se. Maybe they are, but I personally don't think that it's any more of a challenge than like a free-moving character, right?
Yeah.
But everything about the tank controls meant that the game was like mechanically rigid. It was mechanically rigid to perfection. Every single attack was spaced so perfectly that if you flick back on the control stick, Leon always gets out of the way. Every time. So the game is just this constant, consistent, series of close calls and near misses where like a single input saves you from damage, right? Okay, the game's a little goofy, so we got some iframe dodges where you do actions and you get iframes out of it. Like, camera's gonna snap further away from Leon, or it's gonna take on like a kind of a cinematic angle before returning to the player, and the camera's always going to be at your back, so the perspective on combat is basically always going to be where it needs to be. And if it's not, well, we're going to have enemies speak to kind of tell you their proximity and their location. So there is a lot of just like really good game design decisions in Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 Remake, they're like, well, it's got to play like The Last of Us. We got to modernize the game. It's got to play like The Last of Us. So there's a couple of really weird things that just happen because of that. And first of all, every room is worse. There's not a single room in the remake that is better than it is in Resident Evil 4 because with the free movement of controls, the sizes of Resident Evil 4's rooms make no sense. Like
is the level design like the fucking same? Basically?
No, it's every room is smaller. Almost every room is smaller to justify.
Okay.
Like they basically have to shrink your like area of play, because otherwise, if it was like the same wideness as most of the rooms in Resident Evil 4, like you could just stand really far away and avoid everyone and just run laps around them. So like they have to make every room smaller, and so like every combat encounter is like way less interesting. There's one room that's like one of the best rooms in the original game, and I'm not too far into the game to be fair, but it's one of the best rooms in the game, and they just cut it in half. It's just half the size. Because what can you do, like, with this? Like, the graveyard in this game is literally half the size. The village is roughly the same size, I would say, but, like, I don't know, it's weird. I would imagine the camera also has something to do with it, with how, like, kind of claustrophobic everything feels, but it does feel like some of the best rooms in the game are, like, I don't know, couple times smaller, let's say 1/3 smaller for the most part, and so they're a lot less complicated.
That's an interesting way to deal with the changing movement.
The other thing they do is they just choke every room to death. Like you'll just be there's a really memorable room which is a giant swamp in Resident Evil 4, and the giant swamp is like, okay, at the bottom level there's just nothing but swamp, right? Your movement isn't really inhibited or anything like that, but once you're in it, and you have to run around these kinds of wooden structures that are kind of obstructing you or blocking you. So off to the left, there's a lot of space. Off to the right, there's a lot of space. But in the center of the swamp, if you ever kind of get kited over there, like, you're going to have a bit of trouble. But then there's also this sort of second floor that's all made out of wood. And that's more of a linear hallway type thing. So you kind of have a decision between, do I want to play around in the muck with a lot more space, or do I want to kind of have this confined, tighter area? And that room is just not in the game. What it is instead is it's just like all choke points all the time. Now, you're still in the swamp, but it's just like everything is just like a corridor. It's like a zigzag of like wooden planks, and the kind of like interplay between the top floor and the bottom floor, because you can go back up and down them seamlessly. Like, you can jump off the top floor and go back up on a ramp, is just not there. And the enemies, the way that they move, like, it's not like a classic zombie horde where they're moving at you slowly. They're advancing slowly, and so, like, you have to kind of hold them back. Like, they run at you, they charge you, but this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, what I'm about to tell you.
All right.
So in Resident Evil 4, there were 2 modes. Normal and professional mode, as it should be. So normal mode had the sliding difficulty. The more damage you took or the more you died, the game would silently adjust the difficulty in such a way that you might not notice it. But
it's the God Hand system, but just
it's the
quiet.
God Hand system, but they don't acknowledge it. So, like, for example, they might delete 2 enemies from the room, and you just won't notice, but there's now 2 less enemies. And so it's always, like, very carefully considered, like, okay, we're gonna add these 2 enemies that make the room hard. Okay, well, the player's struggling now, we'll take them away, right?
Okay.
So that was always very
I know
well
about this.
done. Yeah, and then the professional mode version was just, you can't change it, the game is as hard as it is, all enemies have max health, all rooms have max enemies, you're doing this. And the thing about that mode is, Sam, it played fundamentally the same as normal mode. You took more damage, and the enemies had more health, but enemies still staggered.
Yeah.
You still shot them in the leg, and you got their little thing. You got your little melee prompt. It was all good, right? What's the problem?
Because basically, like, the only difference really between, like, like, what's the difference between professional in playing being a god gamer RE4 player playing normal and not dying at all? Don't you just get up to the highest level
more or less
of the play anyways?
Yeah.
Like the level die equivalent?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, the game starts out more difficult that way, and they also remove the body armor from pro mode, so, like, at the end of the game, you just take more damage. Like, there's just no way around. You die in 2 hits at the end of the game, whereas the body armor gave you, like, 4, 3 to 4 hits, right? I think it reduced damage by 60% or something crazy like that. Like, it was, it was a major survival tool, which is a shame, because the tactical vest looked great. Looked awesome, and so now it's just not on the character model, which sucks, but whatever. And so for some reason, they made the baffling choice to have it so that on hardcore mode, enemy stagger values are higher. So the threshold for an enemy stagger is now higher. You're not guaranteed a stagger with a headshot like you are on standard mode. So hardcore mode is just, like, unfair, and it's not horribly unfair. The thing is, if you focus on the target and you, like, let your crosshair shrink, right? Crosshairs shrink in these kinds of modern piece of shit games. Then
I like 2, man. I like 2 Remake. I thought that was pretty good.
Well, I mean, it is. I just think, like, all this, a lot of the RNG stuff, like, it's just not my ideal way to play Resident Evil. I kind of don't like that inconsistency. But if you, like, let the crosshair shrink, you have a higher chance of a critical headshot, which is like a one-hit kill. The Resident Evil 4, head explosion, the famous head explosion, that was not talked about on Breaking Bad. You lied to me. They were actually just talking about what the best zombie game is. They were not talking about the best headshots.
I never said this. Darth Maul never said that, dude. I never said they had a fucking conversation on Breaking Bad about the best headshot, and they bring up Resident Evil 4. I fucking never said that.
Who the fuck said that then? Someone told this to me.
It was definitely not fucking me.
Okay,
I don't think it was anyone in our Discord either, or at least it wasn't anyone. It wasn't in our Discord. Join the Discord, link in the description.
Basically, what you're saying is that no one on Crackhouse is responsible for the misinformation, for the fake news that I received about Breaking Bad.
Resident Evil 4 was brought up on Breaking Bad in a discussion about what video game has the best headshot.
Now, it is brought up in Breaking Bad, but not in that context. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it is brought up. Anyways. Yeah, like, the critical headshot is just, like, reduced. You'll almost never get it unless you let the crosshair zero in, which sounds like it would make sense, but then it also makes moving with the left stick completely pointless, because now you'll never get it, and it's just better to always be moving with the left stick in the first place, and you get a higher chance of staggering with the crosshair, closed in, but, like, it's just better to advance towards the enemy in the first place. They added crafting, which they didn't need to do. And because every fucking Resident Evil remake game now has crafting, which sucks because, like, so the original Resident Evil had really deliberate drops and a bias system where whatever weapons you use, you get more of that back. So it kind of encouraged you to, to spend exactly what you get. And now this crafting system is just like a fucking lazy ass band-aid, like, that's just like, just make it yourself, dickhead. But, like, the crafting materials are awkwardly sized, so, like, it just makes it harder to just carry regular ammunition and, like, regular stuff. So you just have all this crap in your inventory that you're just, like, building towards. And then you're gonna have odd or even amounts of crafting materials when you need the opposite, number or whatever. So it's like, okay, well, I need 5 fucking gunpowders to make this shotgun shells, but I only have 11. And 10 fits into one slot. So now I just have 2 gunpowders in 2 slots, and one is taken up by 1 unit of gunpowder in this one slot. And so now I have to either decide between all of my gunpowder or an actual bullet that's in front of me, or an actual thing of bullets, an actual cache of bullets. Like, there's just crafting because I guess you can't curate.
There's arbitrary crafting.
You can't author games anymore. And the thing is, it's not arbitrary. You will be using the crafting system. Everything that you put into it, you're going to get. But it's like, I don't need it because all the stuff that I can craft are things in the game already. They're not like, I mean, other than the attachable mines and the bolts, which are legitimate crafting items, and I would be fine if that was the only way to get that. But it's like, all right, you can choose between shotgun shells or exclusive items that you'll never get anywhere else. So you just gotta lug around these crafting materials until you have a reason to make them. And like, there's a difference between, like, gunpowder, which you find everywhere, and kitchen knives, which are fucking impossible to find. And guess what? Gunpowder and kitchen knives never go together. What does go together are kitchen knives and fucking large resource pouches, because of course the currency of crafting is, like, generic item number 1 and wholesale blanket item number 2. So it's like, so there's just these items called resources, large and small.
What is this fucking Phantom Pain?
Yeah, where you just get
your rocks.
Resources. Yeah, no, well, but here Phantom Pain at least named the fucking resources. You get your rare metals, your common metals, your fine metals. It's like this. It's just like it's like a sock. The image is like a sock full of, like, nuts and bolts, just, like, full of, like, generic metal parts. And no joke, this, like, I realized, like, partway through, I'm like, wow, this feels more like The Evil Within than Resident Evil 4. Like, literally, the way the game controls feels exactly, to me, like The Evil Within. Like, that sloppy, sluicy runniness of The Evil Within is back in action. Now, it's got better, like, shooting mechanics. The crosshair snakes in a more logical way, and the enemy placement and the level design is better. So it's not like it's like as like mid as The Evil Within, but like controlling Leon. First of all, Leon moves like a fat person. Like, I don't know how better to explain this, but like, he can't start running without, like, winding up forever. So like you press the run button and Leon's got to be like, like, start running, right? And just like, so whenever I have a melee prompt, I'll just, like, know instinctively, like, I'll just have this nihilistic, pessimistic response to having melee responses where I'll see it and I'll be like, I can't get there in time. It's useless. And I'll just...
It's too far!
It's too far! It's too hard! Like Thumbelina. But it's just like... I just know, I'm like, Leon's stupid fat fucking ass is not going to be able to make it that far. So I'm just going to eat the cost of this melee opportunity. I'm just not going to go in, especially because it seems like there's less iframes for these things too. And then also, like, since enemy values, stagger values are different, the most dangerous enemy now are the charging zombies. Charging zombies before were one of the more, like, easily dealt with situations. But now it's like, there's just nothing you can do if you don't stagger them on the first couple of shots. The charging zombie has won. The situation has won the day. And, like, your options are large amount of health spent or knife durability, because of course this game has a knife with durability in it. And by the way, durability is tied to the parry system, and the parry window, by the way, is like slightly before the hit, but so much so that when I'm going for a perfect parry, I always let the hit happen because I'm trying to get it like 1 frame before the hit, and then I'll hear the parry sound and the game will be like, nah, sorry bro, too quick. Like, and like, so you can just hold out the knife and it'll just shield you, or you could parry and it'll, if your timing is good, you'll open up for a melee stagger. So you might as well never go for melee staggers, and you might as well only ever go for parry melees, like because those are consistent as long as your timing is good. But then your knife's gonna fucking break, especially if the charging zombie gets you, because then you gotta stab him in the neck or take a bunch of damage. And then it's like, I don't know, it's just all these, like, decisions that, like, sound like they would be really cool and difficult, interesting decisions. But they hinge on the fact that the existing mechanics have just been made less consistent to make other less consistent mechanics be viable. So it's a game of like, it's a game of decisions that you can make with some authority and some choice, but there's almost no guarantee they're gonna work in a lot of cases.
This is why I don't like fucking game remakes, man.
Dude, well, that's the problem. Like, this game Remake is, like, it's still a great, fun game. Like, I'm actually enjoying it, but it's worse, and it's worse for no reason other than, well, this is how other modern games do things, so I guess we gotta do it. It's like, when I think of Resident Evil 4, Sam, I think of crippling uncreativity. I think of crippling, staggering lacks of imagination when I think of Resident Evil 4, one of the greatest video games of all time, one of the most perfectly designed video games of all time. I think of sloppy game design and staggering amounts of copying from other games. That's what I think about when I play Resident Evil 4. It's like, we remade the game so it could be more like other games.
Other games, which is like such a fucking, it's so sad, dude. That's like being like, that's like if we're like, hey, Myles, we're remaking Taxi Driver to be more like movies of today.
Yeah.
Like, who, what the fuck? Like,
well, they made that. It was called Drive. It's a good film, but like...
Oh, yeah, it is a good movie.
Yeah, it would be more like if we remade... It would be like if we remade Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, but we made it a massacre platformer, because those are popular. It's like, okay, instead of like this great, free-flowing movement game, we made it Celeste. There's spikes everywhere! You gotta operate Donkey Kong perfectly. The only viable character is fucking Cranky Kong now. He's the only one that gets results. It's like,
yeah, and you're able to drop a checkpoint whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah, it's just like all this, I don't know, like, it's clearly a good game. And if you are one of those lunatics who thinks that, like, just because Resident Evil 4 is clunky, it's aged poorly, like, I'm sorry, but age is stored in the balls. It's just a case of, like, when game design trends stop being used, they age. Yeah. Oh, the air quotes around the word age. It's like, no, these decisions didn't age, they just became horribly uncommon.
Yeah, like that's exactly it, and it's such a shame to see so many people just like completely like write off like the original RE4 because
I'm just gonna wait for the remake. It's getting remade. I'm just gonna wait for the remake. I'm not even gonna play the original. I'm just gonna wait for the remake.
Hey, you know what's gonna fucking happen now, Myles? Who knows, dude? In like 4 or 5 years, this just might be the fucking Resident Evil 4 everyone fucking talks about.
Yeah, and that would be the worst fucking timeline on.
I mean, this shit's already happened. I mean, that shit's literally already happened in Resident Evil 2 and 3, and I like the Resident Evil 2 remake, but like Resident Evil 2 on PS1 has a lot of fucking value.
Yeah. And it happened to Resident Evil 1 in comparison to Resident Evil Remake as well. Like, it's like, Capcom is just this like auto cannibalistic company with Resident Evil. Like, I can't wait for Resident Evil Village remake in 2031. That when they actually make the game complete, because it didn't get fucked over by COVID.
Last week or the week before, I remember we discussed sort of like horror being like the destination for just like creative bankruptcy and horrible fucking plans.
Yeah.
And I feel like in horror video games right now, the only way you get a big budget horror game made is if you're a fucking remake, like Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, or 2 and 3, or fucking Silent Hill 2. From fucking
or it's a
team.
Spiritual successor like Callisto Protocol.
Oh, yeah.
Can I talk about how stealth kills are the stupidest thing on God's green earth in these fucking games?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, so 5 bullets to the brain doesn't kill these guys, but a knife to the neck will do it. Why don't I just shoot them in the neck then and we just call this a day? It's like stealth kills are one of the most like stupidly considered ideas in video games, and games that introduce stealth kills, by the way, were what's the first game you can think of that introduced the stealth kill?
I think of I mean, there's definitely games beforehand, but I think of the one series that does it right is fucking the Batman Arkham games.
Yeah, and it's like,
because they make it a part of his character, and also
he doesn't kill them.
He first of all, he doesn't fucking kill them. He knocks them out. Second of all, the encounters, the stealth encounters, all hinge on after the first like couple guys go down. The rest of the guys know Batman is in the room with them, which is like, so it's not like this it's not like fucking Sam Fisher, fucking Big Boss. We're ghosting in Russia right now. Like we're not. It's not like that. It's like, but it's a part of his fucking character because he's got to avoid fucking gunfire because he's a human being and he'll get fucking shot down if he's riddled with 20 bullets because he's Batman. We're like whenever like Spider-Man does stealth in the PS4 game, I'm like, I mean, I know Spider-Man's got to take out guys stealthy every once in a while, but like, why are we doing this? Like,
and you know the answer. There's no greater answer other than, oh, it's in other games. I mean, like, here's the thing, even a wildly creative game like Breath of the Wild's got fucking stealth takedowns now. Everything's got to have stealth takedowns.
Yeah.
And I get it in a game like that, in a game like Elden Ring, where, like, there's, like, high difficulty, or a build, or, you know, weapon durability. Okay, I'll save on some weapon durability by doing this stealth.
Yeah, and I'm also okay in games, like, where the stealth fucking makes fucking sense, like in the story. So like in a game like Sekiro,
yeah,
where like stealth's not super useful, but he's a fucking shinobi, he should be able to fucking stealth kill people by sneaking up on them. Okay, cool.
And that's
Ghost of Tsushima, same
thinning.
shit.
Yeah, it's enemy thinning, which is kind of what it is in RE4 as well. But like, it's just weird. It's weird in that game because, first of all, as long as the enemy's back is to you, you got the stealth kill. So you actually can just run at them. And, like, there are certain enemies who are just, like, positioned perfectly to just guarantee that you can get a free stealth kill off. Like you can run at them at full speed and they'll just never hear you. And they're just, like, and they're just positioned there so that you can just sink your knife into them. Get your little dick wet, for stealth kills. And that's it. And that would be one thing if it was enemy thinning, but like the entire game is about giant fucking hordes of enemies all being there at once. It's not going to make it a difference if I stealth kill one enemy. There's going to be 10 enemies on my ass in a second, and they're all going to be carrying the exact same weapons, and they're all going to be generally indistinguishable from each other. This game is about crowd control. It's about hordes. Like, there is a big difference between in Resident Evil 4 taking out your sniper rifle, sniping a bunch of guys, you know, off the balcony before they can shoot you, or taking out your sniper rifle and getting to them before they get to you, and like a stealth kill, because this is a game about guns, and in this rifle game, and using rifles in this game means using a gun. But now suddenly it's like, all right, well, now you got this knife. I guess you got to stab these guys in the neck, even though they're literal worms. They're actual worms inside of these people, and so they're like, they shouldn't need air. They don't need air like everyone else. Like, fucking Del Lago's full of fucking worms. He's an aquatic creature. He doesn't need air. But I guess these guys need to breathe, so if you fucking slit their throat, they'll just bleed out. Even though they can walk around without an arm, like, It's all just hanging by a thread. And like, I know I'm dunking on this game. It is a genuinely good game. It's just worse because it has to be worse because people think it's being worse is better because at least it's not got tank controls and bad graphics. At least it's not dated. It's like, I'm fucking sorry to tell you this. Game's gonna be dated in 10 years. When the industry moves away from all this crap, game's going to be dated in 10 years, and we're going to be saying, yeah, that's such an 8th generation game. That's such a 9th generation game.
Dude, like, I'm already feeling it, dude. I'm already feeling it. Anytime I see fucking gear score, I'm like, fucking God. Like, can we please move the fuck on from this shit?
Dude, there are gear scores in Resident Evil 4 Remake. That's the other thing, is that there are keychains with, like, slight modifiers to your thing. It's like, okay, 15% chance.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, all right, 15% chance to proc more green herb drops, you know? And the thing is, you don't just get these keychains, you have to roll for them in a gacha game. It replaces the shooting gallery from the original game, which just gave you like a flat cash payout. Oh, that's the other weird thing. The game's treasure system is overhauled, even though the treasure system is the most satisfying thing ever. Where in the original game, it's like you would get these items that could be combined into other items, but like you had to be very careful about finding all the parts for it. So like it was like this long project. You could get, you know, an item in chapter 1, 2, and you wouldn't be able to sell it until chapter 2, 3. When you had, but
if you waited, you got huge bank for it.
You got fat stacks, and now it's like you just collect gemstones throughout the game, and then there are certain treasures that you can just immediately slot gemstones into. And there's only, as far as I am, maybe there's more, but there's only 2 types of gemstones and only 6 colors in total between the, you know. So there's 3 on top, 3 on the bottom, round and square. And so it's like, okay, well, already, like, this is a less interesting treasure system, too. It's just, it's more streamlined, but it also removes, the whole game just feels like it's devoid of one very specific 6th gen charm, which is, like, the game being full of secrets and slight demands. The game having, like, these, like, sub-objectives that are never really specified to you, never really communicated to you, but once you find them, they're really interesting. Okay, you can get a free Magnum, the Broken Butterfly, and there is an example of that with the Red 9. You can get a free Red 9 in this game, which is really cool. But the treasures are something like that, or, like, realizing that, oh, I can shoot crow's nests out of these trees. It's like, okay, well, the fidelity on the game is too high. There's too many polygons. They're not going to be able to see a crow's nest. We'll just not have them in the game. That's and everyone's complaining about the yellow paint that, like, some Ganado, some employee has gone around to every single box that has a chance of spawning an item and personally painted a yellow X over them so you know where to break. And everyone's complaining because it's like, oh, we're not stupid, we don't need this. But, like, when your game is that visually busy, yeah, you are stupid and you do need it. And it's not your fault. It's the fault of people who are way too demanding about these fucking environments being just full of garbage.
Yeah, because you're just like, why didn't we just maybe only have boxes that you could break and then just leave it at that? Why do we need to fill with all these crazy boxes? But then they're all yours too, with some yellow X's, so you know you can.
And what's funny is, like, there's an option for, like, oh, you can break every object in the environment or just the breakable boxes, and it's like, what a useless fucking feature. I get that people are going to be like, oh, it's not immersive if I can't shotgun the desk and make it explode. It's like, all right, I mean, fine, but, like, now we got to put yellow paint over these boxes. Oh, I don't want the yellow paint. I want them to make me feel stupid. It's like, all right, so we'll get rid of the physics engine that lets you break anything. But that's not realistic enough. I can't believe I spent $60 on this fucking game. Doesn't let me break every... It's like... I think gamers should kill themselves at this point. Like,
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no hope for you people. Like, if you're gonna complain that Tears of the Kingdom is $70, even though you're guaranteed 100 fucking hours out of it, like, if you're gonna complain about the yellow fucking paint on Resident Evil 4's boxes, even though you're also gonna complain that the environment isn't destructible enough, you know, if you're gonna all this crap that people
why aren't they, if people are complaining about RE4, why aren't they complaining about this shit you're talking about?
Yeah, like like, another one was with fucking Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring, where people were talking about like, this was only stupid people, to be fair, but people were like, the fact that there's no grabbing item animation in this game makes it look cheap. Makes it look cheap and bad. And it's like, no, it's because you grab 900 items a fucking second. Like, and they don't want to waste your fucking time with it. And, like, if I understand that's probably a very vocal minority of people, right? Probably a very vocal minority of people. I'm assuming that 99% of people on the fucking planet are like, oh, I can only break certain boxes in the game. Well, that's how it's been for 900 years. I guess I'm fine with it here too. But there's going to be all these people who need the game to be advanced because they need to justify spending $60 on a game that's going to end in 10 hours, and they're going to say it's too short, even though they spent fucking $10 at Taco Bell only for that shit to speedrun their body in 20 fucking minutes. Like, you spent $10 on the most explosive fucking dump of your life, and you're not going to spend
for the
$60
Myles,
on
you
fucking...
did not spend $10 at Taco Bell. You spent fucking 15 at least, because that shit is inflated like your fucking mother. It is so fucking... Oh, God, I fucking hate Taco Bell. I used to be able to go and get a fucking box.
Never thought you'd say that.
I used to be able to go get a fucking box, gordita crunch taco, 5-layer beefy burrito, crunchy taco, medium fucking Pepsi, cinnamon twist for $5.50 back in 2017, all the way up through like 2019. Now, I get a gordita crunch taco, 2 regular crunchy tacos, chips and cheese, and some fucking water, and it's $15 fucking dollars. I had to stop getting the 5-layer beefy burrito, because then I would spend $20 at the Taco Bell. And then the Taco Bell by my house has the audacity to always fuck up my order. Like, Myles, I get a crunchy taco with no lettuce on it, and they fail. They fucking fail. The reading comprehension. Like, you know how, like, Taco Bell has these college scholarships? What a joke. What a sick joke. That for them to send people to these fucking overpriced, also inflated as shit universities and be like, yeah, Taco Bell, intelligent workforce, my fucking ass.
They can't read the words lettuce on a piece of paper. They're getting a useless degree.
And let me be honest with you, dude. I'm not gonna lie. When I go through the Taco Bell drive-thru, which I've had to forfeit doing. I've had to completely give up going to the drive-thru because I've had too many of these fucking issues. I'd have to order my order like this, dude. Hello. I would like to get a gordita crunch taco with no lettuce, no spicy ranch. I have to say it like this. Because if I said it with any ounce of normalcy in my voice, they'd be like, I'm sorry, what'd you want again? It's like, you fucking, come on!
I actually despise drive-thrus because I roll up there. So I would generally say that I have problems with hearing. I just have really bad, like, auditory, what's the term? Starts with a C.
Christianity.
Auditory Christianity. I have very bad auditory Christianity. So, like, because of that, I'll just go up to the drive-thru comprehension. That's the one. So I'll go up to the drive-thru and I'll be like, yeah, hey, and they'll just be like, hey, welcome to and I'll just hear that and I'll be like, because of my bad audio Christianity, I'll just hear it and I'll be like, hey, can you repeat that? They'll be like, and then I will say to myself, okay, can I get one chocolate glazed donut, one double chocolate glazed donut? You have a special? What is this? Yeah. And I'll go up to there and they're like, all right, so you wanted to donate to St. Jude's? And I was like, I guess I did. I suppose I said yes to donating to St. Jude's. It's like I'm being fucking scammed by Kenny. Like Kenny's just ripping me off, you know? It's just I can't do it with these fucking fast food restaurants.
And then the worst, dude. Let me tell you, the worst part of all is when you're in a relatively busy 2-lane drive-through. McDonald's is like so notorious for this shit, where you're in front of some fucking fat ass SUV that's ordering for a fucking baseball team of fucking 25 fucking fat asses, and they gotta put in an order for like 50 burgers and like 75 fucking supersized fries. They had to whip out the fucking old plastic because they had to stop selling supersize, but they got to whip it out for this fucking family of fucking 38. And then they finally finish their order after like 20 minutes in the drive-thru that you unfortunately chose the wrong fucking lane. And then they pull up, but they stop in just a way that you cannot fully pull up to the window. So you're right here, and the speaker's like right here, and you just can't get to it. There's just not enough room for you to fucking pull up and give the guy your order, but you can hear barely through the speaker. Hey, it's a Taco Bell. Can I walk in McDonald's? And it's like, what the fuck is he saying? I can barely hear him. Like, I can't, and it's like, I don't want to fucking say my order like this, because I don't want to have to scream out my window. Like,
but that's why Chick-fil-A is ahead of the game, all right? And they understand that we hate gay people, and they're doing God's work.
Oh man,
the thing about
neither
Chick-fil-A,
rain nor sleet nor snow, those fucking teens at the Chick-fil-A are always out to take my order.
Except for Sunday.
Except for Sunday. I've never been in a busier fucking line in my life than at Chick-fil-A, and I get my food within 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes.
Someone comes at you with an iPad, and they say, in the clearest voice, the voice of Enoch himself speaking to us down from the heavens, saying, "Welcome to Chick-fil-A. Can I take your order, please?" And I have to do a double take. I'm like, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" They're like, "Yeah, welcome to Chick-fil-A. Can I take your order, please?" And I was like, "Oh, sorry. I just mentally muffled those words in my brain because I was prepared to have to
de-scramble them,
to have to do the Sherlock meme where taking the words and moving them around.
You have to do your decryption mini game where you gotta flick the dials until it's right.
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's like fucking Danganronpa. All the words are floating around you. You gotta shoot them. Like put the sentence together. Play hangman. You know, it's just so wonderful, and that is why Chick-fil-A can stay in business, even though everyone's trying to fucking cancel them, because they have good enough service that even the gays roll up to Chick-fil-A going, "Hey, yes, you can take away my rights. I just want my chicken." Like,
and you know what? They're still gonna get it with the please and thank you and a smile.
Yeah,
anyway,
and they're still gonna get it with please and thank you. And it's so funny because like there are like Chick-fil-A's when I was living in California, there were like Chick-fil-A's with like the pride flags outside of their establishments. It's like, man, they're like. The hand and the tail are not communicating with some of these Chick-fil-A's. Like it seems like Chick-fil-A has kind of taken on sort of an agnostic policy of like, yeah, if it's your store, like you can do what you want.
It's almost like it's some bullshit. It's just some fucking
I mean,
bullshit.
Here's the thing, Sam, and I always point this out. I love this conversation because like we know that Chick-fil-A guy, whatever his name is, Kenny from South
Some
Park.
business owner.
Yeah, Kenny from South
Kenny
Park.
from South Park.
His he donates to like anti-gay bills and backs all these politicians people don't like. But it's at a point where like you almost can't, like, business is so complicated. I understand, like, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, blah, blah, blah. Everyone says that. But, like, I don't think that people truly understand the magnitude of, like, business is so complicated that, like, you're never actually sure where your money is going. And you only have the roughest idea of who is benefiting from that money the most. And so, like, it becomes an issue of, like, well, okay, well, do you want, you know, one one terrible person to get 33 cents to the dollar you spent, and then 66% of that goes to the actual establishment, which might be full of, you know, decent, normal people, or do you just have a problem with any amount of money going there anyways? And like this is always my thought exercise with people who like already make their purchases based on someone's politics. If Shigeru Miyamoto came out as a TERF tomorrow, would we just be like, yeah, guys, Mario, it's it. I never liked Mario anyway. Sonic's where it's at now. Yeah, let's just everyone, dude, don't go to Nintendo Land. Don't see the Mario movie. Oh, Super Mario Odyssey 2 just got announced. But remember, guys, buying Mario 2 is gonna affect our rights. It's like. The idea that like anyone can just like come out and have an opinion, positive or negative. Like if I on the other side of the foot, I argued like if Yoshia Sakamoto came out in support of trans rights, like 4chan would just start editing Samus as like a troon, and they would start being like, yeah, fuck that guy. Let's talk about Igarashi now. That's a Chad, Yoshiaki not Koizumi, Yoshia Sakamoto, yeah, he's the virgin trans rights supporter, the Chad Castlevania dev. Would people start calling Igarashi our guy, and just because one man had an opinion, like whereas conversely, if one man had an opinion, and look, I understand that these opinions are either harmful or inflammatory, depending on what side of the line you're on, but it's like, if one guy has an opinion, like, I'm sorry, but hundreds of thousands of people have had their hands on Mario in some capacity. I understand that Shigeru Miyamoto is the Mario guy. When he fucking dies, which he will, because he's 900,000 years old.
Yeah, it's coming. Also, what I was going to say earlier, it's like, dude, we don't even have to imagine fucking Shigeru Miyamoto being a fucking TERF. The guy's a fucking 70-year-old Japanese guy.
Yeah, it's like the chances that he's just like,
yeah, the chances he shares any fucking Western cultural values of the 2020s is slim to none.
Yeah, it's like, if anything, he might just be like, yeah, what a curious concept. People want to change their genders.
Bro, people talk about overwork in the video game industry, but neglect fucking Shigeru Miyamoto on fucking Super Mario 64 DS going, it's Mario time! As code for y'all are staying here today! Like,
what I will say is it does seem like Nintendo doesn't like crunch as severely anymore. Which is very interesting, but like there was an era when he could just tell this anecdote about, hey, it's Mario time, and people would think it's like funny. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, what a quirky, cute thing that Shigeru Miyamoto has done, as opposed to, oh, you've ruined hundreds of people's nights tonight, Shigeru Miyamoto. They're not going to see their families. Someone is going to die in their sleep, and you're not going to be there.
Fucking Daisuke was about to get some fucking pussy from his wife after his fucking 16-hour day at Nintendo of Japan, and he's coming to ruin that shit.
Yeah, he's coming in and saying, sorry, your only lover is Mario. And then they have a woman, they have a Nintendo hired woman who dresses as Princess Peach to suck all these guys' dicks so that they stay focused. She comes in
so that they can keep working through the night. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, she comes in and
I bet Sega did some shit like that.
Oh no, Sega absolutely
Sega definitely brought Coke in the building. It was like, all right, guys, we're all staying. We all got to really crunch on Daytona, USA, but here's some methamphetamine. Let's go.
See what Nintendo did was they got this Princess Peach cosplayer, right? And she said, "Ready for your cake? Give me that icing, baby." And she just got under the desk, and some programmer's just like. And then he comes without a single thing on his fucking face, no facial expression. And then she goes, finger licking good. And the coder's just like typing away, doesn't care. She's got to move on.
He's busy programming the fucking tall mountain star.
He's
shoot the start of the Lonely Mountain or whatever.
Yeah, and she moves over to the guy who's animating the DS monkey. Just start sucking his dick. Yeah, that's how they get these guys. That's why they got rid of it. Because that's why they got rid of it. Too many people at the Nintendo office were like, yeah, she's a distraction. Our productivity drops every time she drains our balls.
Oh,
can you please fire Miyazu? Like, Or at the very least, put her on another project. All right, she's directing a Happy Home Designer now.
Yeah, she's directing Super Princess Peach.
She's directing Super Princess Peach, and her job experience informed the game quite a bit.
Yeah.
I guess since we're talking about Nintendo, we might as well address the elephant.
Yeah, speaking about a game that absolutely, definitely, for sure, totally didn't have a single bit of crunch in it whatsoever.
No, you know what I'm going to say, though? I am going to say I think that there's absolutely 100% crunch on Tears of the Kingdom. But
totally! There's crunch on every game.
Yeah, there's crunch on every game. But as I was saying, I think that, like, Nintendo has based on, like, the length of their games and deadlines per the hardware that they make, I have a feeling that they don't crunch nearly as much as a lot of, like, studios developing for, higher end, like, 2K consoles, because there's just less assets to be done. And so, like, that length of development time, I feel like, is probably spent, with, like, a decent amount of crunch, but not to, like, the same degree where, like, they got Elden Ring out the door in, like, 3 years, and then, like, all the reports were like, yeah, everyone was miserable and underpaid, and they crunched the shit out the door. And the game turned out great, but, like, Tears of the Kingdom taking, like, 6 years to release, I think that a team that was, like, crunching throughout the entire process probably could have shipped that game in, like, 4 or 3.
Also, Elden Ring took 5 years, for the record. They started it in 2017.
They started in 2017? Okay. A
separate team was working on... Sekiro and Elden Ring kind of ran tandem.
Okay. Yeah, then
for 2 years.
That makes way more sense. Yeah, okay. So I'd probably say that the amount of crunch on Elden Ring, probably similar to the amount of crunch on Tears of the Kingdom, then.
There was definitely crunch on Elden Ring, absolutely, without a shadow of a fucking doubt.
The thing is, we have verbal confirmation that there was crunch on Elden Ring. Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo's never gonna open up about crunch. It's just, they're not gonna do it anymore. It happens, it absolutely 200% happens, because it happens everywhere, but they're just not, there's no Mario time anymore, okay?
Well, they're like, it's just, they're the fucking the Disney of the fucking video game industry. They're the fucking family-friendly brand that can do no wrong, and
that's not true.
We clamp that shit down.
They just minimize their bad PR and just localize all of their bad PR to terrible hardware decisions and terrible service decisions. Otherwise, it's just like we all come back to our trough to play our games, and let me tell you, Sam, that trough looking mighty delicious right now.
Yeah, I like the Tears of the Kingdom gameplay. I like the weapon fusing. That looked pretty fun.
You know, I don't really want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom that much, because I did a long-ass thing where I discussed it with our good friend Tom Turnstile on Nintendo Everything. You can go and listen to that if you want to hear my thoughts. But, I mean, yeah, I'm positive about the game. I think it looks great. Let's talk about Breaking Bad instead.
Yeah.
Because
good shit.
You'll hear my thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom when the game fucking comes out.
I have nothing really to say about Tears of the Kingdom other
brilliant. I love all the systems.
It looks fun.
They figured out how to fucking fix durability for all the whiners. Oh, you know what?
I was literally about to say that. Hey, when you combine the stick with the rock, it can kill like 2 enemies without breaking. That's cool.
That's the big thing. Like, people were like, yo, let's get blacksmiths in the game. I want to put blacksmiths in the game, because it's like, that's what a fucking brain dead mongoloid would do. Like, that's the thing that anyone would come up with. So these fucking madmen were like, all right, well, we're not scrapping durability. What if you just had the ability to stick 2 weapons together to make an unholy fucking polearm 3 times the size of Link?
Dude, I was like, the double spear was actually my favorite part of that whole fucking thing. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, that's neat. Like, that's neat. I want to combine 2 pole arms together to make a super pole arm.
Yeah, it's like, and then the durability. I'm assuming that if a weapon's close enough to breaking, the durability is probably going to stay the same on the base weapon, but then it's also going to have the durability of the other weapon added. That's my guess, but either way, durability solved. Oh, where's your fucking blacksmiths now? Oh, yeah, no, you really wanted to fast travel back to Hateno Village to mash the A button through a menu so you didn't have to let 1 weapon break instead of being a fucking man about it and just playing the game the way it was fucking intended, because you have a crippling loss aversion because your dad
But Miles, you understand,
cigarettes.
Other games don't have that kind of weapon durability, so it's automatically a problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big problem. Now, I love the fact that Breath of the Wild is like other open world games, but good. grounded, but I don't like that the combat is like other combat games, but it has a system that other ones don't have. Therefore, it's bad. Now, when Breath of the Wild's open world stuff is different from other games, that's good. But when the combat's different from other games, that's bad.
That's bad.
I don't like that. I hope that they streamline
I don't like that.
I don't like that. I hope that they streamline it so much. No, and I'm like, give me the systems.
Give me the gameplay.
Give me mechanics.
Give me the physics.
Give me the butter.
Speaking of physics and chemistry, fucking Myles, are you done with Breaking Bad?
Not yet.
You messaged, but you're close. You watched Ozymandias, right?
I did not watch Ozymandias. I just saw when I was clicking on the episodes, I saw the thumbnail, and the thumbnail was the famous, and we've made fun of him multiple times. I love how we have two very, very different interpretations of the Breaking Bad face. Well, like that's half of his performance is going. It's similar to what I was talking about. Well, we didn't. We're saving the 24 episode because it's just a lot of content. And by the way, that episode.
And we also have to record the second half.
We have to record the second half of it. I got as far as season 5, and that episode is fun so far. But we do have to get back to it. But like by season 8 of the show, like the performance starts to get a little samey, and so like you hear Jack Bauer, give a command, oh, do this now, and he just like you just hear that again, like whereas like the default of Bryan Cranston's performance, if he needs to convey any emotion of like disillusion or dismay or frustration, he's like, oh. But it's never with teeth.
Please watch this on video.
Yeah, please. You're missing our incredible comedy.
You're missing
stylings.
photographer. You're missing our facial expressions. It's yeah. So what episode are you on of Breaking Bad? I don't want to spoil anything.
I just got to the part where Hank Schrader figures some things out. Some big secrets out, and that was a good.
Oh shit! He has a toilet revelation.
He has a toilet revelation, as we.
He has a dump revelation.
Hey man, he got the. Hey, that was when the Gorditas were only $5. All right. Hey, dump revelations were easy to come by back then.
Yeah, that was back in 2010.
2010. Yeah, it was real easy to have a dump revelation back when Taco Bell was inexpensive.
So does that are you have you finished season 4? Are you on season 5?
I'm on season 5, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So what'd you think of the whole Gus Fring arc of the show?
I thought it was good. I mean, it is very interesting because the whole Gus Fring arc is like this show does have like an anime-esque arc element to it, but like the Gus Fring arc definitely feels like the end of the Gun Devil arc in like Chainsaw Man. Where it sort of just ends and you're like, all right, well, now what?
Yeah, dude, I feel like that's a pretty good, that feels like a good way to put it.
Yeah, and it's not a problem, but again, that was a big now what moment after season 2 as well, where you're like, all right, well, like season 1 ends with the most obvious, like, all right, well, they got to deal with Tuco now.
Yeah, the beauty of what I always appreciate about Breaking Bad is it kind of has like 3 endings, and you just named them: end of season 2, end of season 4, and then of course the actual finale to the show at the end of season 5.
Yes,
because it like in the end of season 2,
he's about to be shot, and then it cuts to black, famously. Oh wait, that's another prestige show about a fat guy who goes. Sopranos.
Sopranos. I've only seen the first episode.
Well, no, that's about a fat guy who goes.
Got myself a gun.
Yeah, can we talk about just the death of the theme song? Because I was just thinking about how many great theme songs just don't. Like Breaking Bad is really nice because I don't want to fucking press the skip intro button. So like the Vince Gilligan,
it's a perfect stinger.
Yeah, it's like it's nice and short, but like I would love to hear.
Better Call Saul stinger is god tier, by the way.
Oh, I'm excited to hear it, but I would definitely love to hear like a. Got myself a blast, cooking meth out in camp, the camper, ripping ass, woke up this morning, got myself a tumor.
The worst is when like cartoons and shit when they got rid of all the intros in like 2010 and it would just be title over.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Dude, cartoons were where you had the best theme songs. Yeah, see, you know the most random thing I rewatched, Sam, recently? And this will mean nothing to you. Is
Code Lyoko?
No, why would I ever revisit Code Lyoko, Sam? I really can't
Because you wanted to hear bwah, bwah, bwah.
I really can't get enough of that repetitive music loop. I was thinking I'll watch Code Lyoko on one screen, play Mega Man X3 on the other screen, just be filled sonically with the sound of a bunch of synthesizers shorting out.
Unknown.
Yeah, shorting out in real time. No, but like I watched Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Dude, I actually have like thoughts about Ned's Declassified, so it's like funny you bring this up. Dude, isn't it hysterical how like Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, the Nickelodeon shows from our era of all of them, that is the only show left like totally untainted, and the core cast is like still really enthusiastic.
They're really enthusiastic
about the show.
And they're all good friends. Like, I mean, I know Lindsay Shaw has like come out. She has borderline personality disorder. I think she had a problem with either alcohol or drugs. Like, but she's like a very like positive, self-reflective person. Then Devin Werkheiser's like clearly been in therapy. He knows all the therapy words. He's like, yeah, man, got to do that self-care. You know, like just stuff like that when he's on his little podcast. Like, and then,
because they all got a show. That's how I know about it.
That's why I started watching it, because I was hoping they would watch the show on the podcast, but no, they kind of just discuss it. And I was like, well, this isn't that much fun. Like, I was kind of hoping to rewatch the show. I guess I'll just rewatch the show. And
you want to hear something? You want to hear some horrible truth?
Absolutely.
That you like just spit right there. That I've been thinking a lot about recently. And that reaction content gets a lot of shit online, but in a lot of instances, reaction content can be just fucking flat out superior than just watching the piece in question.
It does depend. I watched a lot of like Tears of the Kingdom reactions, and a lot of them were people who were just like silently watching it, and then they would go, "Is that Zelda?" Like, and that's like the whole commentary they would have.
See, that shit sucks, and that's the shit that gets blasted. But the shit I'm actually afraid of is with, like, a comedian. Like, if I were to make a video and, like, some funny guy watches it, it's like, oh, fuck, I'm fucked. Because there's no way my video can be better than my video and then some other guy riffing on it, right? That's actually funny.
We'll do commentaries on Crackhouse itself. We'll go back to episode 1 of Crackhouse and just do a commentary on it.
Because I think about, like, let me give you an example of, like, the kind of the kind of reaction content that I feel like is like dangerously good. It's shit like, so it's like whenever like Legal Eagle or whatever covers like the law in like media or whatever, it's like, hey, here's a Simpsons episode where they go to court and he like watches it and reacts to it and he gives his like take as a professional real ass lawyer, or I know Vice, I think, or Vice or The Cut or one of those fucking places has like professionals react to, you know, their profession being in media.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that shit's good content, but when it's like reacting to like, you know, like old shows and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, I would just rather watch you react to it and not watch it myself. But does Ned's Declassified hold up, dude?
Sam, what do you think? Knowing me, what do you think, Sam?
Knowing you, okay. I'll break this down for the audience. This will be a little get to know Myles elaboration section. Because Myles, so what is Myles like? Myles likes media about kids. Myles likes media about kids like finding their way, like in the world. I don't know how Myles necessarily feels about the school setting, but I feel as if the format of Ned's Declassified, where each episode is like clearly like themed around like a fucking message, or not a moral, but like it's themed around you giving advice so you could survive fucking junior high school. You know, that's what the fucking show's about. And then there's funny antics in there. I think you like it. I think you think it's all right.
Ding, ding, ding. Actually, I think it's more than all right. I think the show is hilarious and great. I loved it rewatching it, and I laughed a lot. I genuinely, like, out loud laughed several times at this stupid show with stupid jokes. There is one comedy shot in, I think, season 3, episode 6, that got one of the hardest like belly laughs out of me in a long time, which is this person, their parents are considering pulling them out of the school because their grades are slipping and they seem depressed. And so they're like, we just have to show Feynman's parents how great our school is. And then hard cut to like the hallway, and like there's like bullies like shoving someone into a locker repeatedly, and like someone's chasing a pig. There's just a pig running around and someone's trying to catch it. And,
dude, there was a lot of like crazy shit in that fucking show. Wasn't there a teacher that was just on like one of those rolly TV monitors? That shit's awesome.
Teacher, yeah, no, and all of them. See, being a kid is like loving like Ned and Cookie and Mose, like all their performances, right? Being an adult is realizing like, oh, these like adult character actors and comedians who are like giving it their all are amazing. Like being an adult.
The science teacher is fucking awesome.
Mr. Sweeney's awesome. Darren Norris as Gordy is like perfect. He's just like amazingly funny in that role. And it's so funny. That said, Sam, I do blame Nickelodeon once more for ruining an entire generation of men, because the entirety of season 3 is just like, so season 1 is like, we gotta figure out a way to pass this test, or whatever. We gotta figure out a way to stop this rumor going around. And then season 3, it's just like, everyone's like, hey, what's going on? Oh, I just need to figure out a way to get my crush to look at me. Every episode, oh, I gotta figure out a plan for my crush. Oh, I gotta figure out a way to get the crush interested in me. Hey, I'm going out with my crush later today, but I gotta do this.
It's like, Crushing was one episode. That shit was one episode in like season 1 or 2. Crushes.
Don't get crushed by a crush.
Yeah,
that they say that, and then season 3, it's just like, hey, me and Susie are gonna go out to the fucking, whatever. But
Susie Crabapple,
Susie Crabgrass. I got a study date, and it's like, of course, Susie Crabgrass is like a horrible bitch. Like, I mean, she's not as horrible as like Trixie Tang or fucking. What are some other like just like complete bitch crushes in these cartoons?
Because
there's a lot of them. People just get crushed on like stupid bitches in these shows.
Fucking, I'm not tough, very super familiar with the Nick lore.
No, but it doesn't have to be Nick. It could be Cartoon Network. Like it's all these shows do this crap. Oh, Pauline from Danny Phantom.
Oh yeah, but was she a bitch?
Oh, she was a horrible bitch. What are you talking about?
I didn't fucking pay attention to Danny.
There was Valerie.
My entire extent of the Danny Phantom lore is fucking Nicktoons Unite. Okay,
so like, Valerie was good to him, but they had a kind of like she was a ghost hunter and he was a ghost, and they both knew it wasn't going to work. And then there was Sam Manson, who sucked, but she was the best friend, so of course she won, even though Valerie was the better girl, because Valerie
was Valerie was like the Latina chick, right?
That was Paulina. Like, Valerie is voiced by Cree Summer. She's black.
I really don't know the Danny Phantom characters. I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I only know the ghost. I only know the fucking ghost of Danny Phantom. All right. I watched it for the action. I didn't watch it for this weird ass or all this crazy romance, all these teen romance and Danny Phantom.
But you know what I will say about Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide? For as much as season 3 is just like simping, like it's just constant simping. The finale of the show is like a top 10 greatest TV finale of all time. Oh my god, that field trip episode is like perfect. It's better than it's better finale than Avatar: The Last Airbender. Better finale than Breaking Bad.
The comment don't got shit.
Better finale than fucking.
Better finale than Codename Kids Next Door.
Yeah. And it's funny that I'm struggling to think of good finales, because there are none! No show has ever ended well except for Avatar: The Last Airbender, Breaking Bad, Codename Kids Next Door, and Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Every other series finales,
sucks.
All Great Things from The Next Generation, that one's a piece of shit compared to Ned's Declassified's Guide to Field Trips.
All 4 Futurama endings pale in comparison.
There's nothing better than the Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide series finale. And it's funny because if I try and describe it to you,
he doesn't even like, become a caveman.
Yes!
I've only seen the trailer.
Yes, he becomes the wild boy.
I've only seen the trailer. Yeah, so he becomes the wild boy.
Because
he hooks up with Mose at the end.
Yeah, he snuck onto the field trip, and he needs Coconut Head to wear his clothes, so they trade clothes, but then Coconut Head gets arrested. So he's naked.
They gotta break him out of jail.
And so he has Mose buy him. Or it was either Mose or Simon. I don't remember, but someone buys him like a grass skirt, which is like a fucking souvenir for this painting called The Wild Boy that's at the museum. And then a shirt, and then he loses the shirt at one point, so he's just running around naked, like with this grass skirt, and looking like the Wild Boy, and like fucking Cookie's dressed as a superhero named the Steel Eagle, and he's trying to stage a robbery so that he could save Lisa Zemo instead of just asking her on a date. But then a real art theft happens, and. Oh my god, it's so good. There's a lot of like genuinely like, and then Gordy and all the teachers destroy the school looking for the weasel. It's like everything that you could want in a finale, everything that you could possibly want is in the Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide finale.
I can't believe you're telling me that Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide and Degrassi Junior High both end with the school destroyed and on fire.
Well, it's not on fire. They tear it down with a bulldozer, and it's like it's amazing because it's just Darren Norris like trashing the set. Like it's clearly all these sets, and they're just like, all right, we're just gonna film you destroying it. We're done. Yeah, we're just done with the show, so we're just gonna destroy all of it. And oh my god, and it has like some genuinely like emotion, not like emotional. You're not gonna weep, but like the confession between like Ned and Mose is really cute and good. I like that Mr. Sweeney has this little moment with Ned where he says, you'll go down in history as one of my worst students and also one of my favorites. Like that's like a great line. It's really sweet. And
does Cookie get with Lisa Zemo at the end?
Because he stops a real art heist.
He stops the art heist.
He stops a real art heist from happening. And it's amazing. And then none of them get summer school because they're made heroes. And then the school is destroyed because they're looking for the weasel. It's amazing. Everyone should watch the show. Everyone should watch the show. It's hysterical.
I mean, did you watch it in like a week, I guess?
Yeah.
How many episodes was it?
It's 13 in season 1, 20 in season 2, and then 20 in season 3. So it's 53 episodes.
50?
Pretty good.
That's like not long.
Yeah, it's like they're all 11-minute episodes. It's pretty good. They have a 24 episode where the entire thing is 11 minutes and it takes place before they get to the bus in real time. The following takes place between 3:14 p.m. and 3:32 p.m. Events occur in real time.
11 minutes.
I don't know, man. My math is bad.
It's dude, you bringing up the Ned's Declassified finale made me think of the fucking Drake and Josh finale, which is kind of weird how you break that down. But if you consider the last piece of Drake and Josh content to be the finale, which is the Drake and Josh Christmas special, dude, they go to prison. Josh gets wrapped. Do you know the plot of this movie? No. Okay, well, I guess you're Jewish and you hate Christmas.
I do.
So.
I think Christmas needs to be destroyed.
Canceled. Christmas needs to be
I would
canceled.
like Jesus Christ to be assassinated in his manger. By terrorists.
By turfs.
By turfs. Yeah, Jesus gets killed by turfs because of his support of trans rights.
Yeah, Jesus sniped in manger by Turfs Mortal 11.
Jesus sniped in manger by J.K. Rowling. Shot in the head. Three wise men found 30 caliber rounds lodged in the head of baby Jesus, belonging to the bolt action rifle of one J.K. Rowling, author of Harry Potter 1 through 7.
What was Harry Potter, also known as the Book of the Devil,
also known as Satan's book, Satan's cookbook,
Satan's favorite, yeah, Satan's comfort book.
when asked to comment, God's right hand Lucifer, God's left hand Lucifer, said, "I'm a big fan of hers, and I hope that she gets out of prison soon."
So, okay, so anyway, so the Drake and Josh Christmas special. So, basically, due to some shenanigans, Josh Nichols falls into the back of a pickup truck that is stealing a bunch of shit, and he's just trapped in the back of the pickup, and they basically get caught by police. He gets arrested, thrown in orange jumpsuit prison, with this fucking super beefed up black guy with the beard who is like a famous like Mr. T knockoff actor that Nick always used.
Played by a white man, by the way.
like a weird Mrs. Doubtfire situation. Like a weird white, like a reverse white chick.
There's a term for that, Sam. It's called blackface.
Oh.
Did you actually just forget what blackface was? Did you?
I thought you like...
Your first thought was like prosthetic.
I thought you were like, it's like, I thought you were like, yeah, it's white. Well, you haven't seen the fucking movie, so I still thought of the guy. And I'm just like, and I'm like, yeah.
Your first thought when I say played by a white person is like elaborate prosthetics and masks. It's like the Mission Impossible masks.
Yeah, I'm not thinking of like fucking like your spray paint, like your fucking Jet Set Radio graffiti paint. You know,
you're not thinking of like Mr. Popo.
Yeah.
Don't shoot! That man isn't black.
Isn't black. DBZ Super is great. Everybody,
it's a good show.
And so what ends up happening is Drake, with the use of a power tools, breaks into Josh's prison cell and breaks down it with construction equipment. Who knows how he got it?
It was the equipment he was going to use to cut the door open.
But hey, man, Drake Parker, man, that's what he was. So, anyways, he gets thrown in prison too, and they're about to get sentenced. But then the lovely woman who owned the Premier movie store, or who was the manager of the Premier movie store,
played by a white man,
Helen, yes, yes, played by a white
Jokes
man.
aside, she was on Community. That's how I know her.
Yes, she was on Community. I don't know her name, unfortunately, but I do know her from Community as well.
Oh, fuck. I used to know this. Something Nichols. Jeanette Nichols.
Yeah, but I think her name is, I'm pretty sure her name's Helen in the show. She's basically like to the judge. She's like, wait! Don't send Drake and Josh, I guess, but don't send Drake to prison. And the judge is like, okay, if you can give these random 5 orphans the best Christmas ever, your charges will be dropped. But if you can't give them the best Christmas ever, you're both going to prison. So that's the stakes of the movie, dude. The stakes of the movie is that if Drake and Josh do not have a killer Christmas for these 5 orphans, they go to prison. Now, clearly you see why this movie stuck with me so much.
Yes.
as a kid, as a child.
This was your first boner.
Yeah,
your first prison boner.
One could say. Yeah, one could say. And the So the kids are all like, you know, they're fucking orphans and they're all fucking sad because they don't have any parents and nobody likes them. And Drake and Josh, they're given basically this parole officer who's like a total dick, who's like a total piece of shit dick. But they end up making good with him because for Christmas they give him a pet like chimp. They give him like a pet monkey. Which is like something that's like, yeah, that's only gonna happen like before that woman got her
face ripped off.
Face fucking annihilated by that fucking ape. Horrible fucking story.
This was
pre that. There was pre Animal 9/11, pre the equivalent of animals on TV 9/11.
Pre and post Jupe's Ranch for all the Nope fans out there.
Yeah, the same shit happens in that movie.
Or Bobo or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Bobo the monkey. Bobo the chimp.
Murders everyone on set.
Popo.
Mr. Popo. Dude, why do people name monkeys stupid shit? They should be naming them better. That's my opinion. Animals, it's
all right. If we had if Crackhouse had a monkey, what would
which is the name of the episode, by the way? If Crackhouse had a monkey, ellipsis. But it is funny how we name animals based on like the perceived like violentness or whatever of their species, like killer.
Yeah, dude, can you believe there was a dog in Arthur that was Grandma Thor's dog, and her name was Killer, like straight up.
What kind of dog?
Isn't that fucking metal as shit?
What kind of dog is that?
On a PBS fucking kid show for fucking 6-year-olds?
Because that's a big question. If it was a dog like Arthur's own dog, what's his name? Muzzy or Pal? Thank you.
Pal. Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
You don't know his name's Pal?
I don't know his name's Pal. Dude, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anything.
Yeah, it's, hey man, that's Crackhouse, dude. I don't know about blackface. You don't know about Pal. We don't know a lot of shit.
We don't know anything on this show. We're two morons. We're two morons talking about Nickelodeon. That's the show.
So the also, by the way, to end the little plot about fucking Christmas special. So the guy that Josh met in prison gets out on parole, and he fucking crashes through their chimney dressed as fucking Santa and destroys their fucking living room. And he gives presents to all the orphan kids. And after feeling pretty shitty on December 23rd, all of a sudden they manage to turn it around and feel a type of way. And basically the parole officer goes up to each one of the individual 5 kids, and he asks them, is like, so yeah, was this your best Christmas ever? Yes or no? Determining whether or not by these answers, if fucking Drake and Josh are going to go to prison
for the rest of their lives.
And it goes through all the kids one by one, and they're all like, yes, 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 yes. And then it gets to the final kid who's a mute the whole movie. He's like that character, the character that just doesn't speak in the group. And it's just like one of these things where it's like, oh, is he not going to say shit? Are they going to go to prison because this guy's fucking mute? Nah, he fucking nods his head and he's like, yeah. And he speaks and it's like, oh, yeah, cool. Fucking little Timmy can talk or whatever. And yeah, they all had a great Christmas and they didn't go to prison. And all charges were dropped, I hope.
Well, against Josh Peck, maybe.
Yeah. Dude, isn't it so unfortunate when there's something you like and it's like, oh man, dude.
Every fucking
Drake Bell like actually did bad shit. Like
Baby Driver, Sam, like both. I think between the two of us, Baby Driver is the only movie that we both have like in our like top 5, like that we share.
Dude, Baby Driver, yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. Baby Driver's fucking awesome.
And Baby Driver is also awesome. Ruined forever by 2 rapists.
Although I gotta be honest with you, dude, I have to kind of disagree because I feel like not just on a personal level, which I still love the movie, you still love the movie, but I feel like in general, in cinema circles on YouTube, I feel like the movie is still talked about relatively frequently.
I don't mean ruined forever, like because Drake and Josh is still talked about regularly too. Like, but like Ansel Elgort and Kevin, especially Kevin Spacey, they're that's kind of always going to be a black mark on the film. In a way that I think everyone is going to be fine with because it's a great movie, but like I'm sure that there are plenty of people who are, in the future not going to watch the film due to who's in it or if they made a sequel, if Ansel Elgort comes back, they're not going to watch the movie for that either. Things of that nature, like where because they did something bad, like, and by something bad, I mean like biblically, epically bad. Look, Kevin Spacey, I'm not going to make any accusations, but that man murdered 14 witnesses. He did not pull the trigger, but he did hit the PayPal link that enabled someone else to pull the trigger. And I heard this from President Epstein himself, and he would be the expert. He's the man for this sort of thing.
He does nothing but speak truth to power.
He does nothing but speak truth to power. Our President Epstein, who, by the way, has the highest approval rating of any president in the history of the United States, especially out of Hollywood. Yeah, but like a lot of good stuff is like that, Great stuff is ruined by shitty people all the time.
Yeah. Oh, totally, yeah. How do you feel, Myles? Speaking of Nick, how do you feel about Jerry Trainer? By the way, he hasn't done anything fucked up. I'm not. I know it's kind of a hard right from the topic we were just
like
on.
As a person,
but like, what? Yeah, like I find him interesting in the lore of Nickelodeon as like a channel because he's the only like adult
to have
actor.
multiple. Well, what I will say is Darren Norris, kind of, because Darren Norris is the voice of Cosmo, and he's also Gordy, the janitor. And Rodile in Tales of Symphonia, who's like an actual bastard villain, and he's doing his Cosmo voice, but with a slight like.
Well, isn't fucking Robin from Teen Titans also like Lloyd or whatever?
Lloyd, yeah. Well, Scott Menzel is in like everything. He is Max in Dark Cloud 2, otherwise known as Dark Chronicle. To all the
he also sounds like fucking Robin in Dark Cloud.
He sounds exactly like Robin. He's in Resonance of Fate as the main character in that game.
That's the grayest game of all time, right?
Yeah, well, no,
Resonance
that's Nier
of Fate?
Automata, but that's the brownest game of all time. Resonance of Fate is the brownest game of all time.
Yeah, no, this is the game I'm thinking of. No, this shit's pretty gray.
It's brown, Samuel.
This shit's pretty fucking gray.
It's brown.
It's not. This shit's not brown. This shit's fucking.
Vote on
this shit's
Discord. Is
gray
it
as my
brown
hair in 5 years,
or is it gray?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
Vote now on your phones.
Yeah, vote. Text 1-800-VOTE NOW to decide whether or not brown or gray is going to the next round of American Idol.
Yeah. Dude, did you ever watch American Idol?
I used to watch a lot of American Idol, but I hated the parts of American Idol that were about people being good at singing. I watched it to witness failures. It's funny because, like, dude, when I'm watching American Ninja Warrior, whenever I see anyone on American Ninja Warrior, I don't.
You'd expect failure.
No, I'm like, come on, baby, you got this. If I had my way on American Ninja Warrior, everyone would cross the finish line and prove the strength of humanity. Because, like, people work really fucking hard for that one run all year, and you like want them to kick ass. Now, and there are some people you want them to fucking speed run that shit, show everyone what a real ninja warrior looks like, which is apparently a doughy white man. But like when I watched American Idol as a kid, when someone would walk into the room, I always kind of hoped like they would fucking suck and that they were delusional. Another good one of my favorite YouTube videos was like it was one of those like one man plays all the roles parodying things, sort of like Man Carrying Things does now.
Yeah,
and it was like about like all these talent shows like America's Got Talent, and it would be like, hi, I'm a slightly unconventional looking person, and they'll be like, look at this man, he's ugly, I bet he's devoid of talent, because that was like their big thing that they would always do, is like some fat schlub with diabetes would come in and then sing like Pavarotti, and everyone would be like blown away that fat people have talent. It was the shock of the century that anyone who didn't...
Hey man, it was the early 2000s. It was the shock of the century.
Did you know that fat people could... Hey, look, man, we got really far. Lizzo can play an umbrella in my fictional Pixar film. We've come really far.
Look how much we've done for fat representation in media.
Yeah, Sam.
Look how much I've done.
I was about to say, yeah, Sam, look how much you've done. And then you got skinny, like a fucking traitor.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a fat traitor.
Exactly. That's what I did. That's what I fucking did to promote the fat movement.
Sam, you were straight up a fat traitor. You sold out to Big Green.
I'm a FERF, dude. I'm a fat, exclusionary, radical fat ass.
You're a FERF. Yeah, Sam sold out to Big Veggie.
Yeah, Big Vegan.
Big vegan. You're one of those guys who will like go to the party and you'll see someone like eating like 7 McDonald's meals, and you'll be like, the Impossible Burger, basically the same thing. Tastes exactly the same.
Hey, the Impossible Burger?
You can't tell the difference. Like, you're that guy going up to them because you sold out, Sam. You're not a fat fuck anymore, which makes our show so much...
I start drinking Huel on every show again.
Sam, you know what sucks about us as people?
A lot, but yes. Okay. I'll shoot.
You're not fat, and I'm not black anymore. The black lie is over. So now our show is devoid of comedy. We have nothing. We're two normal men.
Normal people.
We're just normal men. When people thought I was super black, super dark, one might say, and you couldn't
super fat.
you couldn't fit through the door at the CVS. Everyone thought this show was a winner. Episode 1, everyone's favorite. Now no one likes us.
We're washed up. We're washed up. You're washed out. I'm washed.
I think I just spit all over my hand. I have so much saliva. Oh, Lord in heaven.
Oh boy. I think that's enough for this week.
We talked about so little.
But yet so much.
We had our serious discussion for the first 30 minutes that everyone's gonna skip through on re-listen so that they can get to the part where I impersonate a cashier, and then that's when it's off to the races.
Oh man, if you want to be a true crackhead, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes and elsewhere where reviews can be given.
You should hit the thumbs up on all our YouTube videos.
Make sure to give this video a like, and make sure, for the love of all that is holy, do not watch this fucking video on not anything but 1.0 speed. I will come to your house